Oh, so it is pretty late, which seems to just be my thing. um, it kind of seems to work out better, but I don't know that anybody will watch it right now, but you can always certainly watch it as a replay. Tonight, I just wanted to share. Back in September, I had a posting that was a this or that, and it was about what you typically like in a Christmas card. And this was basically traditional, rustic, and serious. And that was modern, sparkly, and silly. So my winner was Barb. And so what she won was I was going to make 10 Christmas cards designed for her or the winner. And so tonight I thought I'd share. I did get to finally get them done and delivered yesterday. So I thought I'd share what I made tonight. So with that, I think I used the Oh Holy Night suite. And because that was a very traditional stamp set, I believe, with the manger and it's the shepherd and the whole theme of the paper and everything was just very traditional. So that's what I chose. And so with that, I will get down to my desktop. And I'm crossing my fingers that everything sounds good and that I'm videoing well. It seems like there's always something, and I don't know until after I've done the live. So hopefully this will be a successful video. And I also have a dog that always seems to want something when I'm doing these. So I appreciate everybody that hangs in with me because I don't profess to know what I'm doing when it comes to videoing. But anyway, here we go. Here's my desktop. So the Oh Holy Night collection is in the mini catalog that will be soon retiring. And it's just a beautiful suite. And so this is just, I just thought I'd show what I was using. I'm not really using a whole lot from the suite. A few of the dies and this stamp here that says the stars are brightly shining. But that's just where I got my inspiration from. So let's see. I think we'll start with, I'll cut my card base. I used boho blue for my card base. And this card base is 5.5 by 8.5. So I'm just going to that's your basic card base anyway. And we're going to score that at 2 1/8. I can never find it. And then 4 1/4. So that's the card base. And then I'm going to use a couple pieces of designer series paper. And so I chose the Starry Sky sheet. And I'm going to cut this at 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to go. Oh, wait, I was going to almost do it again. So 3 3/4. And then I'm going to go 5 inches. So that's one piece. And then I need a second of the same designer series paper. I originally was going to use this side on the card because it matched the card base, but I didn't like how it looked with the rest of the card that I'm making. So we're just going to cut this piece at 1 7/8. 1 7/8. And 5 1/4. All right, so that's all I need for those 2 pieces. And then let's see. My next piece is I need a mat to put that designer series paper on. I'm going to use that out of Native Navy. So I'm going to make that 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to do this. All right, so I have that piece. This card's super simple, but I like how it looks. It's a fun fold. I got the inspiration as far as the fold from Patty Bennett. And I don't know if it's actually called a Z fold or not. I don't know. I'm terrible about that. But let's see. I need a white panel, which is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm just going to do the 5 1/4 here. And by 4. So we have that piece. And then I need one more piece of designer series paper. I chose the Pretty Foil Stars. You can see that my theme is kind of the stars. The stamp I'm using is the stars are brightly shining. Yeah, I love the stars. In fact, tonight there's supposed to be a huge meteor shower. And this is going to be 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. So, yeah, so there's supposed to be something like 150 stars or something you could see up to. So that's pretty cool. You don't see that every day. And so let's see, I've got most of my basic pieces for the card. Now I need to bring in my cutting machine and, my die machine. And I love this little mini guy. Our money cutting and embossing machine is awesome. So I'm going to cut our manger. Alrighty. I have been working on some labels that I'm making, and I'm using a very intricate die, and so I've been going back and forth with those, just trying to make sure I get a nice clean cut. So this die is actually I wanted to go back and forth just because I'm used to that. but no need. It's not a very intricate die. So there's our manger, very cute. And then we need, we need to cut a piece of, I think I used, where did my cardstock go? Okay. We also need to cut a star. So I'm going to use this die here. And what did I do with my top? Oh, it's right in front of me. I swear. And I always forget to, when using the little minis, you got to remember to stagger the pads. Oh my gosh. There we go. Alrighty. So that should be fine. All right, so I think that is all the cutting that we need to do. So I'm gonna have to get this, pop this little guy out. Oh, doesn't want to come. Of course, it's because I'm on camera. There we go. All right, we got that little star. And so with that, I think we are done cutting. Now, so here's all of our pieces. And then there's one more thing that I needed to do. So when I was making this card, we have in this designer series paper, there's sheets like this, and then there's desert, right? Well, and then we have another sheet that's primarily desert. It looks like sand. And so because I was making a lot of cards, I didn't know how much paper I would need to do the desert, because I definitely wanted that in my cards. So I decided to take, and I cut 1-inch strips. And so this one I actually need to cut, let's see, I need to cut this 1 inch by 3 3/4. Wait, I have to cut it to, 1 3/4. So I think if I measure this, this is 1 inch. So I want it to be at 3 3/4. So I need to bring in my cutting machine again, my cutter trimmer, and I need to trim that. All right. And so I thought, I wanted it to kind of look a little more realistic. So I decided to tear towards myself, and that gives when you're tearing paper, that gives you a kind of a rough edge. It's more of a feathered kind of look. And I thought that would look kind of more like sand. It's more gritty looking, and it's not that somebody's going to really notice all that much, but I just liked the look of it. And then so because that looks kind of different and raw there, I decided to take, what color is this? Crumb Cake, which is also a color that's in the Designer Series paper. And I'm just going to color the edges to make it a little gritty looking. And most of this is going to be covered up by the dye anyway, but it's just something, I don't know, it just gave it more interest and a little more texture. So that's pretty much all I did with that. All right, and then the only other stamping that I need to do is with Night of Navy. I'm going to stamp my sentiment on the inside. I did not make a sentiment for the outside of the card. I liked it. Well, you'll see it when it's done, but I just thought it was distracting kind of to have words on the front. So I just bypassed that whole thing. So I think that looks like it's inked up pretty well. All right, and so I want to actually do this on the left side. So I'm going to place that right about here. And hopefully I'm getting a good imprint. Woohoo! Not too bad. All right, so that's the only stamping I'm actually doing. So now to kind of assemble. We've got all the pieces cut. And so this is going to be on the left side. And sometimes I get these little fuzzies, and I've shared this before, but I like to use my little paper sanding block. I've had this thing for years, but I kind of go over the edges if I see that there's a couple little things, little fuzzies I don't like. Just cleans it up really nicely. And sometimes it's not the blade on my cutting machine. It's on my trimmer. It's just that the paper, I think sometimes it's pretty fine, and so it just kind of naturally kind of does that. So I'm going to bring in my silicone pad here. I love this thing. It keeps the tape from, getting all over the place because it will not stick to silicone. Thing's awesome. It's like $5 or something. It's well worth getting. Okay. So I'm just going to line this up. Right on the corner. All right. So that is the inside panel there. And so I like building it. So if you remember, we scored. So this is your normal score line for a regular card base. And then you have another score line that was, I think, 2 at 2 1/8. So before I start scoring everything, I'm going to actually start putting together my card. since it's a little easier when there's not, when the cardstock card base hasn't been bent and everything. So I'm going to put this. How's everybody's week going? I can't believe it's almost Christmas already. It's just so crazy. I've got so many things going on. It's ridiculous, like everybody. I know we're all busy, right? It's like, oh, I don't know how I worked before. I think I'm more busy now than I was when I was working, and yet I have more time now than I did when I was working too, but I can never get anything done. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So this piece I'm gonna put here. Now I originally was gonna do that, but I didn't like it. I just don't think that it didn't flow right, I don't think. So I decided, nope, I'm gonna go with this one. It just kind of carries on to what's on the front. And oh yeah, before I forget, I put Wink Stella just on the stars. So I'll do that now. Gotta have sparklies, right? Even if it's just a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just a little bit. All right. I think that does it for that one. So I'm going to put that down. Okay. So because I haven't folded anything yet or anything, it's easier to line up my papers so that they're even. Almost even. There we go. All right, so that's the inside. So now I'm going to take and fold my card. Get my phone folder here. And then I'm going to fold back the front. All right, so then I'm going to start building my front of my card. So to first do that, I'm going to build my scene on my Designer Series paper. Sorry if I'm off camera here. It's kind of... Alrighty. So I'm just going to line this up. Maybe. It's horrible getting old. You can't see anymore. It's ridiculous. I'm not liking it. But see how that just kind of transformed that piece of Designer Series paper? Now it just looks like this big, deep sky. I thought that kind of worked out well. And you could make it, a little more hilly if you wanted, but I just kind of stuck with that 1 inch, because when you are making a bunch of cards, no, I was only making 10, but you have to consider what your design is, what your Designer Series paper is, if it's directional, if you're going to have enough. So without buying a ton of extra packs of paper, it really it's worth considering kind of your design layout and everything beforehand, just so that you don't create something that you love and then realize you're not going to have enough of your materials to actually make them all. Not fun. All right, so there's my stars. There's got some twinkles, and there's the land. Now I'm going to take my nativity scene, and I'm going to pop those up on dimensionals. And so and I'm using actually 2 different sizes because I'm trying to make sure they're not showing. But we need a little extra support, so I'm going to put smaller ones. And some of these are actual little slits, so you can kind of see through it a little bit. So kind of a little picky about where I put them, because I don't want the weight to show through. All right. So I'm just going to center that. Isn't that fun? Nice. So I'm going to take and I'm going to attach that to my card base. Uh-oh, am I running out of tape? All right. And I'm going to center that. Should have taken my little block. I got fuzzies. All right. And then I'm going to do Wink a Stella on our star here. And this suite has dies, and there's, I could have made foil paper, die cut, stars, and they're beautiful and everything. I just kind of chose to kind of keep it simple. So we're going to place that maybe here. But I'm also, let's see, let me get some, I guess I'll use some liquid glue. Of course, it's all clogged up here. Sorry about that. Kind of, I'll use a glue dot instead. So this is, you'll think this is kind of funny. So my dog, who gets into everything, actually kind of did me a favor. He got into a brand new roll of my glue dots. And this comes in a roll, and he chewed it apart, so I ended up cutting them in strips, and so it kind of works out kind of cool. I have these strips now that I just kind of use like this. So even though he was being his usual naughty self, he kind of created a cool thing. And if you know me at all, you know Leo. And he is a nut. He's usually the one ruining my videos. If it's not technical, it's him. Just saying. All right, and so now I'm going to use our adhesive back star trinkets. So there's 2 sizes. So I'm going to use this larger one kind of over by itself here. And then I'm going to use, whoops, sure. And then I'm going to use the smaller. My goodness. I got glue problems tonight. The glue didn't want to come off with the star. The glue didn't want to come out of the bottle, and now I've got glue stuck to the back of this card. And then I'm just going to add this little guy to here. There, what do you think? It's pretty, huh? And so I'm going to then attach this. Oh gosh, and I just about blew it. So I'm going to align this with this panel. So I really only want to add glue to this side. And I ran out of glue. Just a second here. I'll be right back. Oh boy. All right. Back in action here. So I'm only going to go about 1 inch. And then to do this, I'm going to fold my card, and I'm going to take and keep the tape, the glue, the tape that's already on the back of this panel. I'm going to keep that up. And once I have these lined up here, I'm just going to now press it down. And so now you have this gorgeous card that opens like this. Isn't that fun? And it stands. And so when it stands up, if you imagine this standing up, you can see the other stars also. Does that make sense? So that's what it looks like standing up. So super fun! And then again, I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure that's nice and creased. And this one is nice and creased. And there you have it. So that was the card I designed for Barb. I hope she likes it. I think it looks traditional and it looks serious. And it's rustic, I think. Not too much sparkly, but it has a little sparkles because it does need to have some sparkly. That's what she liked. So let's see. Let me put this back up to my desktop. Oh shoot. Oh no. Oh my Lord. Well, that was bizarre. Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, so I lost my whole video thing there for a second. But I hope you liked it. I hope, Barbara, you enjoy those cards. And we'll talk again soon, people. I hope you have a great holiday if I don't see you beforehand. And thank you for watching. Oh, and tomorrow, the 15th, I think, is that tomorrow? No, the 14th? Really? I think tomorrow is a free shipping day. So if you have an order that you want to place, make sure you do that. I wish I would have known that. I just created or had another order that I placed, and I would have saved me 38 bucks in shipping. So if you do want to place an order, make sure you do that. If you don't have a demonstrator already, if you want to shop with me, you can find me at terryphelps.stampinup.net. If you want to contact me, I'm at thesunshinestamper@gmail.com. And if you want to join my Sunshine Stampers group, you can find me at that website right there. And there's just a couple questions to answer. It's not a big deal, but yeah, so you can find me there. But other than that, I hope you have a great holiday, and I'll see you soon.